I'm Zhangua Chen. I'm assistant professor at the Environmental Health Division of Preventive Medicine. So my research work focus on studying the environmental impacts on our health diseases, including the air pollution exposure and the environmental chemical exposures influence on respiratory health and as well as metabolic diseases. And in recent years, I started my research program using the metabolomics to investigate the metabolic pathways linking the environmental exposure and those disease outcomes. So that's how I introduced my research to Cathy, and Cathy actually helped to create this fantastic piece of art to show the overall picture of my research. I really appreciate that.
So I created my piece based off of kind of, theory, color and stuff. Blue basically represents like the throat chakra, and metabolomics, from my understanding, is how you metabolize things in your environment or the pollution or stuff that you breathe in. So I created this based off of that sort of concept because I remember you speaking a lot about how your lungs, take things in from the environment, like the pollution. You were talking a lot about, people that grow up in polluted environments are more prone to cancer and that they have learning issues and stuff like that. And that really resonated with me. So I was like, okay, well, we could do it simple. Just put like the metabolomics chart in the background and layer that on top with the lungs to show, basically simplified how this is absorbed into the body. So I did that with blue. I'll show you basically. And then with the hyper colors or the neon bright colors, that kind of represents the toxicity in the environment. So I incorporated that into the work, sort of like how poison dart frogs have that sort of bold neon colors, just like other toxic animals in the environment. So I incorporated that also into the work to sort of show that toxicity or the environmental factor also involved in that. And then I put, sort of like burned or I don't know how to describe it, smoky effect around the side to show that sort of also another layer of an environmental factor on top of this. Originally, I was toying with the idea of, doing all these processes and making it really complicated, which is something I love to do, is make complicated art. And then I was like, no, let's just make it simple because, this is medical based, and the simpler you make it, the easier it is for the audience or the viewer to understand what it is I'm trying to get across through the piece. So I just stayed with a simple idea as opposed to doing what I'm currently obsessed with, which is taking everything and putting it in my laser and letting it burn images onto things. So I think this really worked for me. I mean, it was successful in resonating that sort of message with how metabolomics can play into art and describe it to the population.
I definitely love this piece. It's like, because I'm very familiar with this metabolomics kind of metabolic pathway figure that I actually show Cathy when she come to my office. And when I see your this piece of art, I see this is like in the background with these little dots and connect to each other. And it's actually the truth that we obviously see the disease itself, and we also can feel the air pollution, maybe like we can see it or we can feel it, we can inhale it. But these kind of small molecule or chemicals of metabolites that play in our body is not obviously to be seen, right? We can measure it, but it actually play a critical role for the disease mechanism in the background. So I love that, like you kind of show this background figure with this metabolomics pathways. And also that's my question. I originally asked you about like why you use the bright color to what that means. And as you explained to me, it's like air pollution, these kind of foggy forests. I really love it, and I also see it's more like you in the branch of the lungs. It's like a tree, like the system, right? And this internal ecosystem connecting not only the lungs but also spill over to the entire body. So through the veins, through the blood, so you can also see it's connect to the heart and also other organs as well. That's why I feel like you really translated this kind of connected system to a very simple but obvious and a very nice piece of art. I really love it.